This podcast is sponsored by Tusk, an open source non-ICO crypto project powered by community. Check them out on the web at tusk.network. That's TUSC.network. The Rob McNealy program is the nexus of cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and entrepreneurship. Now, welcome to the program. Today, I am talking to Amina Motala. She is an influencer in crypto, and she's up north. She's from Snow, Mexico, also known as Canada. So I'd like to welcome to the show. Amina, how are you today?
I am well, all the way here from Snow, Mexico.
I love Snow Mexicans. They're some of my favorite peeps. I grew up in the Metro Detroit area, so we used to spend a lot of time in Snow, Mexico.
Nice. Very nice. So then you can ski.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You've been in crypto for a while. What kind of got you into crypto, and what kind of things are you working on?
Yeah. Quick story, my backstory. I loved Bitcoin many years ago. I used to search through the internet, found a little documentary, talked about Bitcoin, and I loved it. I saw the value in it and wanted it right away. And I don't know how early that was. It was quite early, quite a few years ago. And I just couldn't figure out how to buy it. I really was quite new to as far as high tech went, I knew nothing. I could just function basics on my computer. So I couldn't figure out how to get it. And I tried, I even typed in how to buy Bitcoin and just didn't understand anything. So it took a few years, thought about an ATM machine. That passed, single mom, very busy, went back to school, very busy, just kept going on and on. And then 2017, I bought some Bitcoin and needed to learn a lot more. I became more curious. And through that, I ended up reaching out to the Meetup community, started to meet up with somebody else, and then ventured off on my own and started doing my own Meetup for over 2 years now. So did it bi-weekly, not as much as bi-weekly now, just so busy with everything. But yeah, so and through that, I joined social media, got connected with all kinds of people in the space, and traveling and conferences and building, rapport and partnerships, and it's been fun and exciting. So I love it. I really do.
So what part of Canada are your meetups held in?
Yeah. So Ottawa, Ontario, which is the capital city of Canada.
I like Ottawa, actually.
You do?
Many moons ago, I used to work in an industry, and one of my clients was the RCMP. So been to Ottawa.
Yes. Very nice. Did you come in the winter?
I didn't get up to Nunavut or Quillowit or any of those places, but I've definitely been to Canada in the wintertime. And I think where I live in Salt Lake is about as far as north as I like to be in the wintertime at this point. Yeah. So I can drive to the mountains. I live right at the base of the mountains, but if I want to go to the cold, I don't like it cold that much. I like the idea of having like 2 months of winter.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the winter is just so long, and it's such a process every day living in it. So that gets tiring on you, and being heated indoors for so long just tires you out. But I just saw recently, just a quick side story, talking about cold therapy and cold water and cold showers and things like that, and embracing it. And I've been trying that, and I'm starting to like it.
And it's really weird.
Energizes. Really weird. It is really weird, but this is why I paint the ocean, so I have a really nice view to look at.
So we lived up in northeast Wyoming for 2 winters, right in the Black Hills, and we wood heated. We heated literally with a wood stove for 2 winters, and I said, that's it. And up there, you literally have to heat like 9 months of the year. And I'm like, no, not doing that again. No, not doing that again. But I like skiing. I mean, that's why we moved to Utah, actually, is so we ski. So that's why we ended up moving to Salt Lake.
I like skiing too.
Yeah. So, but I like the fact that I can live in the valley, and it's still pretty, it's like in the 40s right now, Fahrenheit. So it's actually pretty nice and not too bad. I don't like it when it's -5 degrees every day. That's just not pleasant for me. So you've been working on a few different things. So it sounds like this meetup has grown into other kind of opportunities for you. Can you tell a little bit about that?
So, well, my meetup, I Originally, I met a gentleman, Jordan St. Jacques, who started an app called Crowdfluence, which is for micro influencers. So that was really interesting, and I learned a lot through him. He's pretty knowledgeable in the space, and he's still working on it. I think he's going live with some part of it or something. I'm not even sure. I've lost touch with him now, but for February, and it's all about micro influencing and social media and using blockchain as well. So that was really interesting, learned a lot. I even got myself a desk at Innovation Center at a time for a little while he was there, which is a really, I guess, had quite a name for itself for high tech, and it's government funded building actually. So things like that, opportunities like that, and just different events and venues and meeting interesting people through the meetup. And then traveling, getting to know people like Bitcoin Ben, and traveling a lot, did a lot of his meetups, and got to meet who I am going to be working with as well is Daniel Polotsky with CoinFlip, and they're really cool. CoinFlip is the ATM, Bitcoin ATM machines, and he is the second largest in the world. He has about 400 machines. And Daniel's only 24 years old. So really, really young, energetic, intelligent entrepreneur. And I look forward to doing more work with him because we really want to bring up the machines up to Canada. So that's a goal. And I want to assist him with that. So I'm looking forward to working on that further with him. And another project that came to light, which I'm really excited about, and it's a relationship that I've built up since almost a year now with this person who's brought me in to working with the Corona family. And that is the Corona Games that they just launched. And I had read their press release last week. So it is an online gaming app with sports fantasy and trivia, and they'll be getting into blockchain tech and film production as well. So very excited to work with this family. Now, it is the Corona family that owned the beer company. So this is a completely new launch for them. And what's great about it is they're big players in their big corporation. They're a household name that they'll actually be releasing the press release to the world, and reaching the world population. So what's nice about it is onboarding them into this app, and then over time they can learn about cryptocurrencies and blockchain. So I see a great opportunity to help with adoption with Corona Games. So I'm very excited to work with the social media and the marketing with them.
So with the Corona Games, are they going to be rolling out blockchain games immediately, or is that something that they're getting into later on?
They will be doing, so I did sign an NDA. I can't say a whole lot at this point because they are just releasing things
Come on.
one thing at a time. I wish I could, really. But they are going to start unveiling things as they go along. They do have a lot of things lined up, really exciting, and in a very different way too. They're going to introduce gaming and trivia in a very new light, in a different way that we know of. So, and their prizes are, things like paying tuitions off and mortgages off and Disney trips and tours, and it's really quite interesting. They have family in mind, and it's a family-friendly site. So nonviolent, I can say that, nonviolent. Well, it's gaming, and yeah. So it's exciting what they have to offer. I can't wait, and then I can hopefully share more.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to that. So you've been traveling around Canada and the United States and going to conferences. And, what would you say that the difference is, or are there any differences between the perspective of crypto and the communities down here in the United States versus up in Canada?
Differences. How can I say? I mean, I've done more because I've been to Bitcoin Ben meetups, and so where they're different is Ben does draw a crowd. He does draw quite a few people. So Ottawa, we are a government city, a little more conservative of a city. I would say the interest is not that far different. It's not that, you know, that any are more knowledgeable or less knowledgeable or anything like that. Uh, I have had meetups where I've had 20 to 30 people. I've had meetups where I've had 3 people. So I don't know anybody out there who's had a similar experience. I've heard many things, and I'm sure there has been. And being the bearish market, of course, I would experience having a low number. Lately, I've had up to 10, 12 people the last few meetups. So that's been very encouraging and really, really great. But I usually have a really good response after. A lot of people end up coming up and shaking my hand and thanking me. So, you know, they're hearing something new. They're hearing something that might spark an interest inside of them, or just give them some hope or light or something. And I see that. That's the kind of feedback that I get back from them usually at the end of a meetup. And a lot of times we are sharing. There's other people who are also very savvy in the room, and we share the space and share the information. I always tell everybody, you know, this is not my meetup. It's all of ours. So haven't been to too many different meetups to really compare, but I would say from what I've experienced, they're really, maybe as far as numbers, and only because a lot of them I've been to, there's been so many other influencers, so a bit of a crowd has been drawn in, but the enthusiasm is the same and the curiosity is there. And yeah.
Do you think the interest is more pertaining to the investment piece of it, or do you think that the interest seems to come more along the lines of the decentralization technology aspects?
I've had a lot of both. So you do have a lot of people who are interested in, I've had the people who are interested in making a quick buck, who wanted to trade, for instance. We even had people coming in to teach trading for those who were interested. And I wanted to learn it just so I understood how it worked and what people were saying and the terminology. But definitely a lot of people who wanted to invest, who were careful with their money, or who were in situations where they needed to. And because this community is high tech, a lot of high tech individuals, so who were interested in the blockchain technology itself, and a few different people who have had startups or ICOs at the time, back when ICOs were a thing. They would do presentations at my meetup to introduce their ICO and their new platform. So quite a mix, and a little bit of everything.
So as far as the technology goes, you seem to have a good, handle on the tech scene, at least up in Canada. How many startups do you see going on up there? Do you think there's a really strong, tech hub up there as well? Or do you think that's more focused down here in the United States or in other parts of the world?
I think we have a pretty strong tech community up here in Ontario itself, not just Ottawa. Toronto is very strong as well. And there is a lot of innovation that goes on up here. Sometimes it surprises me even more than I realize. I've grown up in the Canada area where our high tech hub is, and seen a lot over the years. And I would say, I mean, just recently somebody told me, Apple has an office here in Canada, but nobody knows this. So it's things like that that I'll hear of. And a lot of creations like smart boards, they're created, the gentleman is living right here in Canada who created the smart board. And I mean, there's so many different inventions that have come out of the area, or from Ontario itself. And as far as with blockchain or startups, there are a fair number. Just gauging it by my own meetup, and that I've had already a number of them that's come through and seen them, tells me something, because not everyone has reached or found my meetup. And including Montreal is another big city where there's an active community as well. So I would imagine if I saw that, a handful come through my meetup, then there would have to be quite a few more. But to give you an exact number, I really don't know.
So when you're having people come to your meetup, say new people, what do you think in general that the crypto community could do better to help introduce people to the technology and to the space?
What could the crypto community do better, as in the crypto community here in Ottawa?
Or anywhere in general? Like, it seems that there's a lot of polarized people and opinions out there, but it seems like we don't do a very good job of bringing new people into the space. And I was wondering, what do you think we could do to improve that?
What can we do?
See, no prefab questions here.
I like it. It's good because we have to think, and you're making me think. I think it's important to have education. I mean, this is why I do the meetup. So education is really key at this point. We are so early in it, and there is so much to learn being that we are in it so early. So that education factor is what I looked for and what I needed to further into the space and understand it better and just to even invest. So I think if we can reach out to our communities and to our meetups or whatever there is going on, definitely go there. If you have something you can share, even if you're on social media or Facebook or with your friends, talk about it. Talk about it with your family, with your friends, and spread the word. Usually things are spread by word of mouth. I mean, this is a very valuable way that we grow, you know, whether it be a business or teaching something. So definitely I would say education. And if you want to even start a meetup like I did, you don't have to be the expert. You know, it's not, it's a community effort, and you'd be surprised at the kind of people that would show up and support. So
also, having, as someone who also does run meetups, yeah, you'd be very surprised at the kind of weirdos that come to meetups too.
yeah, well, it can happen.
So I always like to ask kind of questions about people. Do you have an opinion on what Bitcoin will or won't do around May 20th, which is the halvening that everybody keeps talking about? Do you think it's going to go crazy, or do you think it's just going to be a big fizzle?
I don't know. I have no idea. But honestly, it'll probably go a little crazy. And whether or not it stays crazy, that's to be determined. And I'm not going to be the one to predict that.
Oh, come
But I would think
on.
it would get a little crazy. You maybe even before it too. So that would be probably a likely prediction.
All right, a little bit of crazy, but we don't know how long it's crazy.
Right.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Okay.
I think that because you know, I like to ask people that because I have very strong opinions about lots of crypto stuff, right? And I'm kind of a crypto heretic. So I always look at it as, you know, I think because there's so much FOMO around that something's going to happen just because people think there's going to be something happening about it. But I don't know if there's anything that's really going to come out of it just from fundamentally change.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be something that's lasting. I think there'll probably be a spike up and, you know, running up in the run up, but I don't know how long it's going to last. But
Sure.
I'll be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. Ask my wife; she'll tell you I'm wrong all the time. So it's
Sure. We could be higher highs and lower lows. I mean, who knows? Yeah.
very cool. So, Amina, where
Huh.
can people find out more about you?
Sure. So you can find me on Twitter at Crowdfluence1. You can find me on LinkedIn, Amina Motala. You can find me on YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel. You can check out some of my interviews with some of the CEOs of the projects out there. And that's Amina M on YouTube, and also on Instagram, Amina Motala _. And Facebook, that's another one too. So my name's everywhere. It's not hard to find me. And for anyone interested in Corona social media marketing, contact me, please. Interested to hear about it. Anyone who's interested in learning more about social media and marketing. So yeah.
Perfect.
And go see coronagames.com. Go check out the site.
Go see coronagames.com, check out the site. And we'll have all those links posted up on the website at robmcnealy.com. Amina, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been a fun chat.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here.
All right, you have a great day. Thanks for listening, folks. Check us out on the web at robmcnealy.com. Thank you for listening to the Rob McNealy program. Make sure you check us out on the web at robmcnealy.com and subscribe to our podcast at YouTube, iTunes, and on the Google Play Store.